What's up everyone? Square Enix is busy showing off Dissidia NT all over the world. The game is being received well, and very soon we will have the opportunity to participate in a closed beta. We don't know yet the format or duration of that beta, but if you're like me, you want to make sure you get the absolute most out of this pre-release opportunity. With that in mind, here are my thoughts about competitive play in Dissidia NT. Let's talk about how you can level up as quickly as possible and have a shot at being the very best. Everything I say from here on out can be applied to just about every character in the game, so I recommend you pick a character you like and stick with them. The game has many facets to master, and if, for instance, the demo is only a weekend long, trying to play everyone might hinder your progress. If you start, and find you don't like the character you chose, just stop and try someone else before you waste too much time. However, you can easily find high-level gameplay videos of every available character, so you should be able to make a decision before the beta releases. First, you'll need to know the basics. Hopefully you've all seen the game by now. Some of you have played it. If you're completely clueless as to how the game works, check out Square's own tutorial video. I'm not going to explain that here, I'll just give a brief summary. You and two teammates are battling it out in large arenas against another team of 3 players. The ultimate goal is to incapacitate enemy combatants a total of 3 times. You can KO one person 3 times or KO each person 1 time. It doesn't matter. 3 KOs equal victory for your team. The matches are timed, but in the case of a timeout, the match is determined by your team's overall score, not by remaining team life or individual HP. Therefore, the only true way to secure victory is to get those 3 KOs. To KO an opponent, you will need to hit them with an HP attack to lower their HP. So, landing HP attacks is the most important concept, right? Well, yes and no. While it's technically true that you could win by continuously aiming to land HP attacks, you'll probably find little success. HP attacks are generally pretty hard to use raw, and by themselves will only ever do 1/3 or less damage to a single enemy. So the first thing you need to do is master your bravery attacks. You can look up the general properties of attacks on Trueblade Seeker's channel, but you'll still need to get the feel under your fingers. The first thing you should do is simply try all the attacks. Take note of how fast they come out, how much recovery lag they have, and their max range. Next, find out which attacks can be cancelled, either with a dodge, block, or just by ceasing to press buttons. It's very likely that these will be your safest moves as well as your best tools for mix-ups. If you hit an opponent with a full attack string, they will be sent flying. This still happens if they are blocking. By cancelling your attack mid-string, your opponent is forced to do something. They can dodge, block, run, or hit back. If you're used to playing fighting games, I don't have to tell you that this is a good way to scout your opponent's habits as well as set up your own combos. Keep in mind that HP attacks can't be blocked, so if they just stay in shield, it's free damage. Attack cancelling is also important because it allows you to stop and defend yourself if the initial hit doesn't land. And of course, you can also feint with attack cancels. Once you've determined what you think are your character's best attacks, remember not to over-rely on them. All your character's attacks have an intended use. Even if you think you don't like a particular attack, try to work out a situation where it excels and remember to use it. You don't want to limit your character's options, and you don't want to be too predictable. Finally, you need to know which attacks can cause a wall rush on your opponent. That's when your opponent gets smacked into the wall and is stuck there all Dragon Ball Z style. Wall rush is the single best way for an individual player to land combos and HP attacks. Bravery attacks are really the core concept of this game, and the main difference between Dissidia and other fighters. You raise your brave score by landing bravery attacks. The higher your brave score, the more damage your HP attack will do, but landing brave attacks will also lower your opponent's brave score. So there's a certain amount of momentum involved in the game, because if one side is getting stronger, the other side is necessarily getting weaker. This makes Dissidia seem like a lot of chaos at a glance, but if you really look at it, it's still a fighter. Pro matches often go to time because you never want to risk too much and gain too little. Players often reset to neutral situations and poke at the opponents with safe attacks and then until they can get some type of hit confirm or catch someone else overextending. That brings me to spatial awareness. In this game, you will need to keep track of the locations of your teammates and your enemies. Unique strategies aside, you will want to be close enough to your teammates to assist them when they are in trouble, while still engaging with the enemy and playing proactively. You will need to make fast decisions based on the positioning of all players, so looking at the minimap every few seconds is key. For instance, Marksman characters have a difficult time in 1v1 situations facing assassin characters. If an enemy assassin flies by you in pursuit of your marksman teammate, you need to do something. But before you decide what to do, you need to know the positions of the assassin's teammates. Obviously, the first step is simply to let your teammate know that they are coming or trying to get by you. That way he can prepare accordingly. The second step may be for you to intercept the assassin personally. If no one is nearby, you are probably free to launch an all-out attack. However, if someone is nearby, you may want to just let them pass and, like I said, warn your teammate. You might hit them with a quick one-hit attack to slow them down, or you might feint like you're giving chase before launching a surprise attack on the assassin's teammate. What you don't want to do is hit them with a long animation attack that will give their teammate time to retaliate against you, especially if you don't have much to gain. If the opponent team only has one life left, sure, go for that HP attack that will finish the match. However, it's not worth it to gain some bravery against the assassin, but end up losing HP to their teammate. Even if you can KO the assassin, it's still not worth it if you get KO'd in return. Your marksman teammate was not in the process of being KO'd, so there's no need to bet at all. The best option is to prepare countermeasures and continue to try and create a safer situation for your team to score KOs. I believe this is the single factor that will separate the good teams from the great teams. Having execution and team combos is really good, but if as a group you can't discern when you should go for them and when you shouldn't, you end up losing. My final thought for this video is try to use your EX skills. The beta will likely have preset loadouts preventing you from selecting the skills you think best suit you, but in the meantime, you can still get a feel for the ones that are available and when to use them. With so much happening in battle and your character having an exclusive EX skill to think about, it would be easy to forget about something like the global EX skills or even summoning. Just use the same principles of spatial awareness when you do. Will your casting animation get punished? Are your teammates close enough to receive the benefits? Are enemies following behind you as you approach the summon crystal? These are all things you should be thinking about. Obviously, this is not all you need to know to master Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. You need to remember to manage your dash gaze, perfect inputs, learn all the characters' roles and abilities, and the list goes on. Hopefully, much of that will be acquired naturally. In this video, I just tried to make you aware of the first obstacles you might run into when trying to become an elite player. The longer the beta is, the easier it will be to enjoy the game and improve along with that. But if the beta is short, this will give you the leg up in the tournaments that Square is hosting around the country. Thanks for watching, as always, and check the description for relevant links.